So I wanted to share one more thing about the music. I've seen a lot of comments of people saying how, oh, the music isn't that great. It's not memorable like other Metroid games. But my thoughts are like the soundtrack. I think it's underrated. I think that maybe when you're playing it, you're not. There's going to be a lot of themes that don't stand out. Like maybe you're not going to like remember them. But I don't think that's what they were going for a lot of them. I think they, like was mentioned before, that the point is to be atmospheric, and they were perfect for that. But in addition to that, there are some like really great songs. After I beat the game, I went and listened through it again, and I was like, oh yeah. So.
Awesome. All right, let's get into the graphics. I'll go ahead and start just by saying that I think it had fantastic visuals. And one of my favorite things about it, kind of what they did with the 3DS game of Samus Returns, is that the background is just as interesting as the foreground.
That's too interesting.
There were two rooms in particular that stuck out to me. One of them was when you were walking past like a beast caged up, and it's like body's being shocked. It's dead, but
you know that's one of the bosses, right?
Like,
I swear that's one of the bosses.
Yeah, it was so cool. And then the second one was when you were I don't remember what area it was, but when you're walking across that ginormous bridge and it zooms out and you got like that super hot lava right behind you.
I agree with you, Steve. That was one of my favorite things about Samus Returns, is how like detailed the backgrounds and environments were. I remember playing it and being like, I kind of want to go back there and explore back there, you know? And so they had a lot of rooms like that in this game too. So I was glad they brought back that detail. For graphics, like a lot of people say that word and they're like, it's got to have 4K resolution, look really realistic, you know, like I'm not going to play it if it doesn't look realistic. So that doesn't matter to me. I thought like the design of everything just looked, it was perfect. Some of my favorite suit designs of any Metroid game.
By far, yep.
It just looked incredible, and the Chozo look amazing. The animation is glorious. Like the cinematics, just the way they animated Samus when you're playing, when she's in like these cinematic scenes. Like it's the best animation, the best characterization of any Metroid game. Like how much personality they're able to show of Samus just by how they animated her. To me, that's part of the graphics. That's part of what makes this game amazing.
Yeah, I feel like the graphics were just as good as they needed to be.
I don't really have anything to add. I mean, graphics are always the least important aspect of any game for me personally. And to be honest, there's a part of me that feels like I might even be the black sheep of this group in that respect, because I didn't really notice the backgrounds very much. I mean, there were times when I did, like the two times you named, Stephen, definitely stood out. But most of the time I was too busy enjoying the heck out of the gameplay to notice much. So I would agree with Lisa. I felt like the visuals were great in the sense that they helped reinforce the powerful atmosphere that was one of that game's best characteristics. But I don't have much more to say than that because it's not the biggest deal to me. I guess I'll leave it there.
All right, we're gonna move into performance. The only frame rate drops I ever saw, they weren't a lot. They were definitely not frequent. They were very rare. But the only times I saw them were like kind of when you walk off an elevator. Sometimes it'll kind of skip frames as it zooms out, and during the loading screens. But other than that, it was a solid 60 frames a second. And 60 frames a second. Like I can tell between 30 and 60. I know, Anthony, you're gonna tell me that you can't, and that's fine. I can tell a huge difference between 30 and 60, and 60 on Metroid looked so good and felt so good.
I'm going to correct you. I can tell the difference.
Okay.
I just don't usually care.
Okay.
as long as it's stable, that's all I really need. I usually draw the line at 30. Anything below that, and it starts looking choppy, even if it is stable.
It turns into.
But I will agree. The 60 frames per second actually really contributed a lot to the feeling of motion in this game.
Definitely.
Yeah, she wouldn't have felt quite near so responsive.
Perfect performance. Like you said, there were only like unimportant times, I'd say, when the frame rate kind of hitched a little bit.
Agreed.
I did notice it during the loading screens as well, but I was like, this is a loading screen, and this is the freaking best loading screen I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
Every loading
And so
screen
I'm frankly
is
just
boss.
happy that they made this interesting. Sorry, Steve, what?
No, I said I was trying to add to what you were saying by saying.
Yeah, it's like, this is way better than just watching a little buffer circle go.
All right, I'm going to turn the time over to Anthony for this last one called replay value, because I think Anthony's replayed this game more than any of us combined. So,
Accurate.
take it away about replay value. What kind of replay value do you have in this game, man?
So I'll just put it by saying, I those who know me know that I'm not very renewable when it comes to any type of electronic entertainment. And what I mean by that is, when I play an experience, even if I loved the heck out of it, I usually have to wait several years before I want to touch it again, But Metroid Dread has the accolade of being the only game I've ever played where not only did I immediately want to replay it, but I did so not just once, but 3 more times. So I played the game a total of 4 times all the way through without switching to anything else, and I enjoyed every last playthrough. And mind you, I wasn't just replaying it. I mean, I was going after the gallery awards for the speed running. That was kind of my motivation, that kept it interesting. But even then, it wasn't just that as the driving factor. Like I remember my immediate reaction when I beat the game for the first time and was just kind of just basking in the glorious experience that was this game. The thought that went through my head is, this game feels too good to not keep playing. That I'm going to replay, and so that's what I did. I legitimately started it over specifically because of how good it feels to play it. And for those of you listening who haven't played it yet, that might sound kind of trite, but you just have to experience it. This game is an experience that can't really be properly described. I think we've tried to by using terms like poetic and fluid and like the motion just feeling really good. But I can't think of another game I've played where it just the mere action of moving Samus is just almost cathartic in a way. You just I'm okay. There goes my eloquence, all gone. Anyway, I just it's shockingly
real
replayable,
fun.
and I think it's because it feels so dang good to play this game.
You will want to see Samus be this boss over and over and over and over and over again.
I agree with Anthony. I can't think of another game where I beat it and immediately wanted to replay it. So that's what happened with Metroid Dread. I finished it and I was like, yeah, I'm ready to play it some more. So I started over and wanted to do the speed run, right, to unlock more of the ending rewards, to try and beat it in less than 4 hours. I failed. I ended up replaying it a 3rd time right after and beating it under 4 hours that time. And the Metroid series in general is maybe the only series where I've gone back and replayed previous games more than once. But Super Metroid, I've played it more than any other game probably over my gaming career, I guess. And I can see Metroid Dread surpassing that. I think its replayability surpasses Super Metroid.
Dang, that's saying a lot coming from David.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from our previous discussions.
After another one of the things that drove me to replay the game is that right as soon as I beat it, the thought that went through my mind is, everything I could follow this up with feels pedestrian now. I don't know what I play now. I've just experienced Metroidvania Nirvana, and and I don't know where to go from here. So I'm like, I guess that means I just have to play it again.
5th time, here we go.
You know what part of I think this is? They designed the game with sequence breaking in mind, right? They designed it so there's more than one way to beat the game. There's more than one way to get important items in a different order, right? Than maybe is the default path. And that makes it so replayable.
To add to that, sorry, I'll just say this real quick. I mean, like, I think one of the things that this game did masterfully is finding a way to create a balance between freedom and narrative integrity. Because, you know, I feel like one of the questions that a lot of people had is, a lot of people, for example, complain about how Fusion was a very linear experience when they had become accustomed to kind of an open design with the previous 3 games, and that was something they didn't like. And I feel like, you know, the counter argument there was, well, it was trying to tell a much more cohesive story, and you kind of have to have a sequence to tell a story. But the thing that I think is spectacular about Dread is it manages to tell a story that I feel like has more bombshell reveals and interesting twists than Fusion did, while still managing to somehow give you a crazy degree of freedom all the same.
I don't think we said one negative thing about this game. This whole discussion. But does anyone want to finish off with anything?
Here's my negative thing.
Oh.
I missed the blue suit. Blue suit was kind of my favorite.
Oh,
That's my negative thing.
Oh, the first suit you have?
I don't know. I just liked it a lot. It's not even a negative thing, and I'm saying it as my negative thing. So
that's totally fair.
You just have to, Lisa. You just have to play the game again. So you have to use it.
There you go.
Have the blue suit back.
Oh man, that's awesome. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you like this discussion, please give us a like, comment down in the comments below what you thought of Metroid Dread, and please subscribe. Always help us out. What?
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to say it. I said subscribe.
Subscribe if you haven't already. Hello, subscribe and click the notification bell so you know when we upload videos. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us, and until next time,
Keep it nerdy.
Keep it nerdy.